Today is Holocaust Remembrance Day in Israel. In keeping with the tradition, the country came to a halt for 2 minutes this morning. At 10 a.m., air raid sirens sounded throughout Israel to remember the 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust. This year also marks the 80th anniversary of the Jewish resistance against German troops in the Warsaw Ghetto, which began on April 19, 1943.
Joining us today to discuss the day is Holocaust survivor Paul Galan. First, thank you so much for joining us, for coming to Colorado. But I think most everyone wants to know your story. You are a Holocaust survivor. I know reflecting on those times can be difficult, but tell us a little bit about where you were and how you remember.
Well, I remember quite well. Where I was living in what used to be Czechoslovakia. Mm-hmm. And at the time of when the Holocaust really began, Czechoslovakia ceased to exist. And we were living, my family and I were living in a relatively small city in eastern Slovakia. Mm-hmm. And conditions, I mean, it was a very nice life there up until about 1929, 1930. 39, sorry. Yeah. And then things changed because Nazi Germany separated Czechoslovakia into two countries. One was the so-called Czech Republic. It was one country. Right. And Nazi Germany annexed most of Bohemia, or the Czech country.
How old were you then?
I was quite young. And Slovakia became a pro-Nazi ally. So it was a very strange and difficult period. And life changed drastically. I was young. I was born in 1935, to be exact. Mm-hmm.
So how did you and your family escape?
Well, there were many different ways of escaping. First, we were rounded up into a transport which was going to Poland, and someone managed to get us out of there. Mm. And then after that, we went through a conversion to the Lutheran faith in order to save our lives, thanks to a friendly and sympathetic clergyman. Wow. And shortly after that, the government decreed that any Jew who had converted to Christianity after 1939, that their conversion is not valid.
They wouldn't recognize it.
They wouldn't recognize it.
A day like today, I think many people are concerned about it, in the minds of some, of course, being ignored, but forgotten and lost to time. So I imagine days like this are important to you, that these events are never forgotten.
Very, absolutely important. But what I've really put my energies and interests into, I was a filmmaker, mm-hmm. a documentary filmmaker for many years. And when I retired, I made a decision that I'm going to devote most of my time, being that I was a communicator, that I would devote my time and energies to teaching young people about the Holocaust.
And hopefully they are incredibly receptive and learning.
Well, in some cases they are. In some cases they're not. But in most cases, I feel that I score some points with them.
Leave a mark.
Leave a mark, which is very important. And the way I judge that is by the questions that they ask me afterwards. And that's very important because those times cannot be forgotten. Oh. Young people need to know that the world changes and politics change the world, and people get annihilated, and people manage to escape. We were fortunate enough to escape through various means, and doing it today, doing what I do today is extremely gratifying, and to me, it's a new fulfillment after all the work that I've done as a filmmaker.
It's one of the stories that history will always reflect on as a place in time that may be hard to understand from the future. It's impossible to understand how things like this ever happened. But we appreciate you coming in and sharing some of your story today with us. Paul Galan, a Holocaust survivor, today on Holocaust Remembrance Day in Israel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not only in Israel, it's really global.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, exactly.
Thank you very much, Paul.
It's my pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.